Systems of linear inequalities. Example. Solve the following systems of linear inequality graphically, where x is less than or equal to 3, y is less than or equal to 5, and 5x plus 4y is greater than or equal to 20. In order to graph these systems of linear inequalities, what I'm going to do, I'm going to consider a graph. So this is my graph where this is my x-axis and this is my y-axis. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to consider one inequality at a time. So I'm going to consider first inequality, which is x is less than or equal to 3, which is over here. Now in order to graph this inequality, what I'm going to do, I'm going to consider this inequality as an equation. So I will write x is equal to 3, but always remember, this is an inequality, not an equation. So x is equal to 3. Now let's graph it. And if we graph it, we'll go 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll draw a line, which is basically this blue line. Now let's look at the inequality. So the inequality is x is less than or equal to 3. So basically we are considering the area on the left of this line, including the point at this line. Now let's consider a second equation, which is y is less than or equal to 5. Now in order to graph this inequality, I am going to consider it as an equation. So I will write y is equal to 5. Now let's graph it. And if we graph, we will write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we will draw a line, which is basically this line. And if you look at the inequality, y is less than or equal to 5. So basically we are considering the points on this line and below this line. So basically this whole area is the common area for this inequality, which is basically my first inequality and second inequality. But this is not the answer, because we have to consider a third inequality, which is 5x plus 4y is greater than or equal to 20. So I will write it over here. Now again, I'm going to consider it as an equation. So I will write 5x over 20 plus 4y over 20 is equal to 1. If I further simplify, I will write x over 4 plus y over 5 is equal to 1. And always remember, this is not an equation. This is basically this inequality, and we are using this one so that we can graph. So if we graph, we will get this green line. Now if you look at the inequality, you will see that inequality tells us to stay over the line. So basically this part of the area. Now the solution for this system of linear inequality is basically the common area created by this inequality, which is my first inequality, my second inequality, and my third inequality. And if you look closely, inequality 1 tells me to stay on the left, inequality 2 tells me stay below this line, but inequality 3 tells me to stay over this line. So basically this is the area, which is basically the common area for all the three inequality. And always remember, we are also considering the values at these lines, including the points at this triangle. And this is how we will solve the systems of linear inequalities.